Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Long Dark Nights podcast. I'm Kirk.
And I'm Jetwire. Thank you all so very much for joining us, whether it's live or you're listening to the recording. Gonna go ahead and say hello to chat here. We have I'll Be the One. Hey, and Pickle Lil is about to get in the car. Hey, Pickle Lil, drive safe to work. And Chuck. Hey, Chuck, it's been a while.
Yeah, welcome in, everybody.
Faye,
And
there's Faye.
There's Faye. Hello, Faye. And hello, Guy. Welcome
Hey
in.
there.
Okay, we're going to do a Q&A show on a Saturday, which is kind of an oddball thing for us. Normally we do these on our Sunday show, but last Sunday we took off because of the holiday. And believe it or not, on the 21st, which would be our next Sunday show, we're working on bringing in special guests. So we're probably not going to be able to do the Q&A for that one. The other reason for the Q&A is because they dropped the visual update. So we thought we could talk about that as far as something that we can get interactive with. So we thought this was just a good time to do this. It's kind of a simple show for us to do. I know both of us have been real busy and hadn't had time to plan stuff, but so let's go over the update, and we'll go from there. We'll see what happens.
Yep.
So if you're unaware or you haven't seen it yet, on Tuesday, May 27th, they released version 2.42. They've actually got it updated to 2.43. They fixed an issue where people were missing items. If you didn't touch anything with the new enhancements, people were missing items. So if you didn't make any adjustments, they've got that fixed now. So essentially, they released the visual enhancements. There's a really nice video out on it. It increases the draw distances. It adds a whole lot of shadowing. That's really cool. There's now color to the fog and shadows. The terrain blends a lot nicer. The snow effects on the ice and that are much more enhanced and stuff. So the whole, what's the word I'm looking at? The immersion is so much nicer now. I've done a couple of videos myself. In fact, my last Dead World one that came out on Tuesday, I actually waited till after the update so I could do a fresh one. And some of the shadowing and stuff is just absolutely amazing and stuff. So I managed to turn everything on full max. So if you want to see some actual live gameplay versus the video, you guys can go over there and watch that for a few minutes and see some of that.
That'll be great. I'll be doing that. Unfortunately, it's been a hectic week for me. I haven't gotten to try the visual updates. I'm really excited to see it. But yeah, no, I'll definitely be going to check that out, Kirk.
Yeah, there's a segment in there where I'm inside the whale factory and I kind of do some passing of time, and the light shadow coming through the windows, it's got a really cool effect. Some of the other stuff I noticed, I actually did a recording today where it's like the snow is coming down really heavy, and you can see splashes of snow like hail hitting the ice when you're doing the beachcombing thing. It was really cool. So there's a lot of really neat visual enhancements and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot to look at if you can turn up the visual effects on that. One of the big things to note too about the visual effects that I know, and Faye was asking me about this, is that it does require a lot more horsepower, so to speak, from your computer. So, like myself, when I do my recordings, I do them in 2K, which is 2560 by 1440. I actually have a 2K monitor, and it runs at 60 frames per second now at that resolution. So that's something else. If you go watch my Dead World thing, you'll notice, and I even mention it, because the smoothness of the turning left and right is just amazing improvement on that deal. But in order to really be able to see this stuff, you're going to need like an NVIDIA 3060 video card or higher. You need a 3.0 gigahertz or faster CPU, and you're going to need 32 gigabytes of system RAM. to give you some kind of idea, if you're not real familiar with computer parts, an NVIDIA 3060 is about 2 generations ago, and it's about a middle of the road video card. And video cards I know are super expensive right now. They have been for a
Mm-hmm.
couple of years, but if you find something like a 4050, 4060, 4070, you can do fine. If you can even find a 3060 to 3080, you should be able to turn a lot of these up. I currently have a 4070, and I was able to max everything. But I also have a 16-core processor and a lot of memory, so I think that
Mm-hmm.
helps too. But um, just to, if you know, and if you have questions, if you're not computer savvy, by all means, come in our Discord, or if you want, just leave a comment, and I can give you some a little bit of advice. I'm not an expert by any stretch of the means, but I can share what I know. And then along with the visual enhancements, they did a couple of updates on things. One of the bigger ones was that they have reversed course on the use of ruined food and cooking. So there was no notification about them taking this away. Something they meant to do, and then when the people figured it out, they said no, this is what they meant to do, and there was a bit of a pushback on all that because people had long going runs, and they couldn't back that up. So they've reversed this. They're going to address it after episode 5. They're going to make some changes to the cooking, and they've also added cooking items to the trader, along with fixing the final missions on the trader as well. One of the
That's
other things,
great.
yeah, and then one of the other
Yeah.
things they fixed, and I'm just blowing through these real quick, and then we can answer questions about it.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other things they fixed was there were some people who were having issues with the travois falling through the through the world, and now you'll be able to find it in your lost and found box. Not the most convenient thing, but they're having a hard time duplicating it. So if you're someone who has this problem, put in a trouble ticket for it and let them know when, where, how, what you were doing, so that they can address it.
Yeah.
So, and then there were some other bug fixes and stuff, and I'm not going to go through all of this tit for tat. We can leave a link to it. It's on Steam, and it's on their forums and stuff. But we thought we'd at least discuss the big ones, which was the cooking one was really big. And then, of course, the visual enhancements. Like I said, I've had an opportunity to experience it. And if you can turn up the volume on the visuals, by all means do so. You will not be disappointed. And
Right.
I'm sorry, Jitwire. I was trying to get. I saw a question over
Twitch.
on Twitch. Yeah,
Yeah, that's fine. I'll talk to people.
go ahead.
So, Pickle Lil, I hope you had a good break. Yeah, it was a pretty good break. I had to deal with some personal stuff, unfortunately. So, but other than that, it was pretty good. And Pickle Lil is also saying in Transfer Pass, so there's a toilet door that has a sign that floats in midair now. So the one in Vacant Depot, I know that was an issue before. And
Oh,
this is
the
kind of
one,
like,
the restroom sign. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I know that was an issue before. And I'm assuming they'll fix it again. And Faye is asking in comments, could you summarize the minimum PC requirements again, please? Yeah,
A-
so I
Absolutely.
can,
And if you need, even want to, Faye, just you can DM me on Discord and stuff. I'll be more than happy to help you.
yep. Yep. But as far as the sign, I think my question is the same as Old Man Spikers. Can you move it in Safe House customization, or is it one of those ones that's just kind of stuck there?
I haven't tried to move it. I laughed about it when I saw it because I just recently saw it doing the tails on Stalker Run. So I think I laughed about it and thought it was funny. I think even Zach had it happen to him not too long ago when he was going to get the camera on his road to 500 days. So I haven't seen anybody try to move it yet. So
In Czech is saying, I had a very large mountain pop in walking into Broken Railroad. Oh, I sent a video to Hinterland. Can you post it on the Discord too?
yeah, no doubt.
I'd like to see it. So. Thank you, Jack. Really appreciate it. I'd like to see
Yeah,
it.
that's interesting. I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
I have to say that the new visuals are just amazing. Hey, Toasty,
Yep.
welcome in.
Hey, Toasty.
Yeah, the new visuals are very amazing on how much it's improved the look of the game. I noticed a big difference too, like with you can increase the draw rate. So like when you're beach combing, you don't have to be right on top of things. You can actually see stuff down the beach now, and
Oh,
so
that's
there's
nice.
just a lot going on. So if you can turn, like again, you could turn it up and can see all that stuff, you'll be amazed. But I do have a couple of videos out, actually one, and I have more coming with the update. So like I said, I know we always talk Dead World, but that is the one I have out if you want to see it live. And it's everything's at max. It's running at 2K, 60 frames per second, and you can really see it. It looks really good.
Yep. Yep. So we got some questions too. One over on Twitch. Rock is asking, speaking of visual updates, what do you all think about the terrain blending? I'll let you answer that, Kirk. Since...
I like it. It in some places it looks a little strange because of the way the snow frosts up on the sides of the rocks, and stuff. So in some places it looks really good. In some places it looks a little odd. But at this point, I do like it. I think from a whole, just the whole standpoint, if you just take it as a whole, I think it looks amazing. You know, especially since the last update where they did some of the stuff with the trains and all that stuff. So I mean, visually, it's just yeah, it's really taken a step forward from 2 years ago.
Mhm. Yep. And I'll be the one is asking, is there a skill you make a priority to get it to level 5, or do you let it happen naturally? Depends on what I'm playing. If it's like Stalker or something, I think like my biggest priority is always fire starting 3. So not necessarily level 5, but if it's like a higher, more difficult mode, then yeah, definitely try and gun it for cooking level 5. What about you, Kirk?
I think yeah, I have to agree. It has to depend. It really depends on what you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
If you're playing Stalker or Pilgrim, you can just let it kind of happen. Nothing really gets you beat up. But if you're playing like Misery, yeah, you want cooking 5 right away.
Mm-hmm.
So then I would take advantage of the shredding technique, or cooking every tea you can find, and
Yeah.
everything is yeah. So it really
Yeah.
depends on what we're doing.
Yep. And also over on Twitch, Rock is asking, second question, any fans of TAA? I don't know if I know what TAA is.
I don't know. I know what he's talking about either.
So probably not. we don't know.
I'll ask.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be foolish. Maybe I just don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe we're just being oblivious at the moment. And all right, so Piccolillo is also asking, has anyone found a special effect area yet, like a rock fall or something?
I
That's a
have
good one
not
for
seen the
chat.
rock fall. The one that I saw today with I don't want to be a spoiler, but I was beachcombing, and you probably know what show I'm recording for. But I was beachcombing, and it started to snow and blizzard a little bit, and the effect of the snow hitting the ice and it looking like frozen raindrops bouncing back. I thought that was really cool. And then when I was recording the Travel with 5 video I did that also after the deal, and you can see the snow blowing off the roof at Mountaineer's Hut in Timberwolf Mountain. So I saw that where the snow's blowing off the roof. That looked really cool.
Yep. Also want to say hello, Lucky, and that casual Zach and Mary. Thank you so much for joining us. And
okay,
Rock,
Rock is saying the TAA has to do with the blending. So
gotcha.
Yeah. Rock, I'd have to say that, I mean, all in all, I was very fortunate enough to have enough computing power to turn everything on. So I just turned everything on, and just as a whole, I think it looks amazing from that deal. I don't know that I can say, with that particular one item, I know exactly what that is. I'd have to go in and like turn other stuff off and play with it, but I think the whole visual update, if you can do it, do it. It is just, it's really good. I can't say enough about it. And then Piccolo saying that sometimes the snow hides items. Yeah, I still think they've got some issues with where the terrain is and stuff. I think that's because the same thing's happening with things falling through too. So like the safes can fall through the world too still.
Yeah, I wish they would fix the one at Spence's, so that way it doesn't like fall through the world anymore. That'd be amazing.
And then hello, Casual Zach. Welcome in. Better late than never.
Yep. And I did take a look at your video real quick, Chuck, and that's pretty goofy. It really does just pop in there.
And hello, Mary. Hello, Stuart. Yeah, I would say. Go ahead.
If you're going to the one, if you go to the Spence's one straight away, then you can get it on the map. It's there. It falls through later. Oh, well.
Yeah, it's like you have to touch it. Once you touch it, then it falls through. And then if you happen to have the dev console, you can fly down, and you could see it. It's laying below the world. It's kind of funny. I think Zach does a quick deal of it in one of his videos just recently. And he shows it and stuff.
And welcome in, Stuart. He's asking what video card you have.
I have a 4070 in NVIDIA, but I also have a Ryzen 9 16 core and 64K memory. So I got a lot of horsepower. When I just did a computer rebuild about a year ago, and I kind of put a lot of money into it because of video editing. And then knowing I'm doing the recordings and all that stuff, so I wanted a lot of horsepower, and so I know that helps.
Yeah, I don't know what I have. I have mine's actually an AMD.
Yeah, there's probably an equivalent to that. I'd have to look it up. There's places where you can kind of go, okay, what's the equivalent AMD deal? But yeah, there's a way to find that out. It's not real hard.
Yeah, I mean, my PC, I built it 2 years ago, and I think it was like the second best one that was out then. So.
And you're probably in there. You probably could turn everything up and see how you run. Plus, it also too. The other thing is what resolution you're running at. So if you have a 2K monitor and you're running at 2K, obviously that's going to be more of a strain on your video card. But if you're running at just HD or 1080, it won't be as hard. So it just depends on how much you got going on. But I got a big chunky 32-inch 2K monitor that I do everything on. So, and plus 2 other monitors to run the show. So I have 3 monitors running when we're doing all this.
Yeah. Yeah.
Crazy setup.
Your 2 desktops and your TV?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've shown Jitwire a picture of it, and she just laughs. Like, I don't know how do you keep track of all that.
So, does anyone else have any more questions or feedback or comments or anything about the new update, or even, if you have a run going on and you want to share something about it or just ask a random question, that's great
Yeah.
too.
Faye says something about snow blowing in the wind helps with direction more easily, and I agree. Yeah, it's sometimes hard to see everything because you get kind of mesmerized because you can see things in a distance
Mhm.
better, and then there's a lot of little subtleties that tend to happen, and it's kind of strange. And it's like you'll pick up on things, and I've only done a few recordings, so I keep finding new things that I'm like, oh, hey, that's cool. Oh, hey, look at this is different. And I tend to point it out while I'm talking, so you'll know what I'm talking about in the recording. So
Mhm. Oh, there's a question. So, I'll be the one is asking, if the devs allowed you to make a region, what would it be and what would you name it? Oh my goodness.
the Devil's Triangle.
I think I don't necessarily know what I'd name it, but I think I would like something more wilderness like, kind of like how HRV is now, where there's not really any man-made structures or anything like that. Um, I don't think I'd want it to be as like multi-level though as HRV.
Maybe something like the Birch Forest in PV, but more vast.
Yeah.
Like it's
Mm-hmm.
something you could get lost in. Like you get turned around and don't know
Yeah.
what direction you're going in.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Yeah, something thick. I I don't necessarily know that I want to name something different, but I would love them to actually to either include like Port Mary or one. Somewhere along the line there has to be a deep water port
Mm-hmm.
where supplies were coming into this island, and Bleak Inlet is the only one that has a ship at port, and that was obviously for exporting their goods. So it's like, it would be neat to see another area and that. And I think the only other area I would like to add, which would be a connector region, and that I'd love to see a connector between Bleak Inlet and Coastal Highway, because if you look at the bigger map, there's like a little peninsula like Florida where the road runs, or the actual coastal highway. And it would be neat if they
Mm-hmm.
could come up with some kind of crazy terrain kind of connector deal so that you could beachcomb, from edge to edge.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that'd
I
be
agree
cool.
with Old Man's Yeah, I agree with Old Man Spiker too. You need a coastal region in the far territory. That would be awesome.
And Mary's is saying, I don't remember what video card you have. There's an easy way to do that. If you hit the Windows key and hit pause break on your keyboard, it will bring up all of your system breakdown. So it'll tell you what processor you have, what video card you're running. It'll tell you how much memory you have and all that. So that's an easy way to find that info.
And Stuart is saying he managed to finish the trader quest finally with the update.
Cool.
Yeah,
That's
I
good to
know.
know.
Yeah, I know. I had so many comments about that on my prepper cache video. People that like couldn't complete the quest because it was just broken.
Pickle Lil's asking us when we're going to go back to the raft. That's just a time issue more than anything, Pickle Lil.
Yeah.
I know that Jetwire's been super busy, and it isn't always easy. It's what's really kind of kicked our butt is, one, life has gotten in the way,
Mm-hmm.
and
And the time
two,
change.
and the time change, and this has to do with the fact that Arizona does not change their clock. So when you guys all spring forward, Arizona stays the same, and so I lose an hour. So what Jitwire and I had a 2 hour gap is now a 3 hour gap. So that also puts into some difficulties for her and I to get together. Because like
Mm-hmm.
what's 7 o'clock for me is now 10 o'clock for her. Was 9 o'clock We could do some
Yeah.
things from 9 to 10, but from 10 to 11 is a little hard when, she's got to do her things too. So that's also
Yeah.
kicking our butt. We were talking that maybe this summer, maybe things will calm down and with some
Yeah.
days off and stuff. Anyway,
Yeah. Because I don't have to be up so early to get like the kid to school and everything, so I can stay up a bit
yeah.
later.
But we
So
definitely want to get back into that. And I know there's some other, Subnautica 2 is going to be coming out at some point. We definitely want to play
hmm
that.
yeah. And
So
I know we said we wanted to do like actual like reviews on other survival games and things like that as well, which would be really cool to do.
yeah, but it's time is the biggest issue. And I'm going to say this real quick too for everybody that's watching the little mini podcast things we were doing. We kind of put those out just as filler and to add some more content to the channel. Been
hmm
absolutely blown away with everybody's watching those. They've been
Yeah.
absolutely amazing. I mean, this last one we just put out on Tuesday has over 1,300, close to 1,400 views, which is just blowing us away. So
Yeah.
that also takes time. Believe it or not, we recorded all those in one day. We did 5 of them all in one day.
Yep.
So, again, that takes time. So we're hoping to get back on that too. But I think we're down to one more, and we got to fill the gap. So yeah, it
Yep.
gets busy. It's just busy.
hmm And they, not a question, but can I just say a big thank you to both of you for all your hard work to build this for the community? And I mean, absolutely, you're welcome, but also thank all of you as well, because this wouldn't be what it is without you guys and your support and you coming in to talk every weekend. So thank you all as well.
Yeah, thanks to everybody supporting. I mean, we were just talking about it before we came on the air. We've gained 20 subscribers to the channel just in a week.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, we look at it every day. I'm like, what are we doing here? This is crazy.
hmm Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
but we do have a little bit of a surprise on that front too, with saying thank you because we need to say thank you to you guys and stuff.
Yep.
We've got a show coming out on Saturday the 14th that will kind of touch base on that. I don't want to say any more than that. Kind of a spoiler. Not. Mary, you hit the Windows key and pause break on your keyboard. Generally, it'll be up around where your up-down page is, your home page, your scroll lock. If you have a standard 10-key extended keyboard.
hmm
And Chuck is saying he likes the mini podcast. He's great for his drives to work. Thank you very much on
Yeah.
that.
Thank you.
Yeah. We kind of put those together to fill a gap because we were
hmm
doing all the old shows. And then we were like, well, what happens when that goes away? And so Jitwire said, well, why don't we try this? And we recorded like 4 of them in one shot, and they did really well. And then we did another 5, and we're coming up at we got 1 more left, I think. And
Yep.
so, and we've had 2 of them that have gotten past 1,000 views. So we've just been like absolutely blown away with how well they've been received and that. So thank
Yeah.
you so much for being supportive on that. That's where where we have to return the thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I mean, I know like 1,000 views probably doesn't seem like much in the grand scheme of things, but it really is for a channel this size. So, and I know there are some of you also who like share the videos and everything as well. So, and we appreciate that so much.
Yeah, that's what drives it all
hmm
and stuff. Toasty Bits. This channel is a very important part of this community, and I'm glad to hear that. That's
Yeah.
what we set out to do.
Yep.
And like I said, that's the whole point of us with the bringing people on, bringing you
Yep.
on, bringing on all the people, DH Dunn and Grape Nut, Sam, and
hmm
we've got 2 more coming in June. And in fact,
Yep.
we'll give you a spoiler for next week. We are going to have Long Dark Forever on next week.
Yep.
So
Yep.
we're working it,
It's like,
and everybody's been
definitely.
extremely receptive. So
Yeah. Yeah. I'm very excited for that one.
yeah, he's one of the people I used to watch on Twitch when I was learning how to play. So this is a very
hmm
neat thing. The other thing that maybe a lot of people don't know too is that Long Dark Forever actually was another person who had a podcast for a short period of time that he was doing on
Mm-hmm.
Twitch. So that's another
Yep.
thing that's nice is that he's being very um, receptive to coming on, even though he had also done his own podcast. So that just shows the greatness of the community that nobody's upset about doing somebody else's thing and taking on the mantle, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yep. And thank you so much, Mary. She's saying she also loves the mini podcasts. Really appreciate that. Truly. And Toasty is saying, everyone leave a like. Let's get the sub count to 500 faster. Thanks, Toasty. We appreciate
yeah,
that.
we've had some amazing growth in the last couple weeks. I mean, we've
Yeah.
just been blown away by that. So yeah, thank you very much. Castle,
Yep.
welcome in.
Welcome, Castle. And Faye is saying, can I recommend Bash Rope as a guest, please? Yes. So we have him on the list. We haven't actually reached out to him yet. He is on the list, though. And
Yeah.
I'll be the one is saying Hadrian or Athenon would be great guests. And I think Athenon has some stuff going on right now. But one day would definitely love to get him on the show.
Yeah, we've actually got kind of a short list of people that that we're ticking off.
Yep.
One piece at a time. Castle, Toasty's been banned. And Toasty will know what I'm talking about because he says that all the time in his live broadcast.
Yeah. Yeah, but no, we do have a list that we're working on for other guests to bring on. It's just we also don't like to schedule like too many people in advance either, just because it gets too complicated and stuff comes up, and just in case. So we try to keep our list of like who's coming on immediately a little shorter, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to say anything too much about who's coming on the 21st because, like everybody here, life gets in the way, and if something happens, then we don't want to let anybody down. That we had this planned. We'd rather reschedule and then show it then. But we do know for a fact next week that Long Dark Forever is going to join us, and we're going to be talking about getting off on the right foot. A lot of tips and tricks on how to get started. Especially for newer players. So we figure with all the newer players that have come on when Hinterland had their big sale, we're going to be doing all that. Silent Shade, welcome in. Hello. Thank you for lurking.
Yeah. Thank you. And do you want to say, even though the next one is going to be about, helping newer players out, like I know we have a lot of veteran players here in the audience, so please feel free to also come in and, share your advice, share your tips and everything like that.
And you know how the show works. We start off with an idea and we end up in the weeds. So.
Yep. Yeah. Talking about which region we'd like to make and and Castle is asking Dead World or Misery, which is hardest. For me personally, I think Dead World's harder.
Yeah, Misery you could technically live forever in Misery mode. You'd be locked into some place where you could do fishing all the time and all that stuff. Even with all the ailments, it wouldn't be easy. But but the thing with Dead World is that it's finite.
Yeah.
Although beachcombing is proving to be an interesting bedfellow.
Yeah, how long have you been going with that, Kirk?
Oh, longer than I like. It seems very repetitive. I understand why you gave up on it, but I'm kind of doing it for the science at this point. And to say the least, it's been interesting. Tell us more about Dead World, says Faye.
Faye, don't say that.
At this point, we know that Jitwire has got her Dead World running in the early stages. Yeah. Mine is in the very late game, and I don't know what I'm doing afterwards, but I had toyed around with the idea of doing a Dead World OG And basically what that is I have a copy of the game from when it first came out. So when Dead World started. So I have version 1.82 that I can play it on. No Ash Canyon, no Black Rock, no Far Territories. So I thought that might be interesting.
Good luck.
Or we may do more of the travel with 5, or I've got another thing I've recorded here and there. So,
yes,
Easy
Toasty, play Dead
1000.
World.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I skipped to the bottom. Dead World, Dead World, Dead World. We need a Toasty run of Dead World. And I'm saying, yes, Toasty, play Dead World.
Play Dead World, Toasty. We'd love to hear you complain about it.
Mm-hmm.
And Ease 1001, is there a link for your podcast channel? Yes. Yeah. We've got it on Spotify. If you go onto the YouTube deal, everything's right there.
Yep.
So.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure after every show, too, I put in a pinned comment, and that has Spotify on it and also the Discord if you're interested in that.
And then Toasty Bits is asking, is any interest in one region challenges? Without giving too much away, that is something that I'm doing in the background that I'm not ready to share with everybody. But it's not quite one region. It's sort of like that, but not quite. And that's as much as I can say, because it's not complete.
Yep. Yeah, I've always wanted to do a one region challenge. I just have too much going on at the moment. So I would eventually like to try Keg Stand.
Yeah, I'm kind of doing something along that lines where I'm doing it in a bigger region. But
yep. Faye is saying we need Lithar to do a speed run of Dead World. Yes.
That's crazy. I don't know what you'd speed run, because you got to be thorough. You got to pick everything.
Yeah.
You got to get all the cattails and everything. And Mary's got, let's see, she's given her specs here. She's got 16 gigs of RAM, Ryzen 5, 6-core. Your processor probably has enough oomph. You're probably lacking in the video card. GTX 960's like 3 generations too old for what they are recommending, and you probably need to double your RAM.
Yeah, so she could probably run on like medium settings.
Yeah, you could definitely try some of it. But like I said, that's the minimum requirements to turn everything on. And like I said, I've been fortunate enough that I built this computer just a year ago, and I went heavy and spent more money than I should have. But because we're doing recordings and I was going to do the podcast, I know I needed horsepower, so I threw the budget out the window a little bit. I did pull back on a few areas, but so I would try. You could turn stuff on, turn a little bit of it on and just play with it. If it doesn't like it, it'll crash, and then you just got to turn it back down.
On Piccolo saying a couple of people are doing 30 days in each region challenge. That'd be cool.
And I have to say thank you to Piccolo for her hand luggage challenge that she put on your Discord. And
really? Oh yeah, that was great.
I did a 4-hour video that I released last Sunday, which is really rare for me, but I had some extra time because we weren't doing the show and everything. And so I pieced together a 4-hour run where you can stay, and basically what the luggage challenge is that you start off in a region, you're allowed to be there for 3 days, then you have to leave. You've got to go. And then you can only take 5 items of clothing, and you can take 5 items in your inventory, and that's it. So early on, it's easy. As you get a little further into the game, things can happen.
Yeah.
And let's just say mine ends in a pretty good cliffhanger. because we've already made mistakes. Mistakes were made.
Oh no.
But nevertheless, no, it was a really good challenge, and it seemed like everybody I had way bunch of views on it for a 4-hour run. So I will try to find some time to continue that. I was having a really good time with that. So thank you, Piccolo. That was a really good challenge.
Yep. And also want to thank Milton Hermit 27 on Twitch for following. Really
Yes.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Toasty saying I'm let's see if I can write a video script without the pod distracting me. No, come back, Toasty. Come be distracted. And
Distraction
Castle,
is good.
yeah. Yeah, and Castle, has the console date for Visual Enhancements been made yet, or is it still June? I think it's still June.
June for consoles, yeah. And I think it's only for like the newer consoles like PS5 and the new Xbox. So I don't know if you've got an older console if it's going to work or not. Being not a console guy, I don't know. Sorry, that's one area I'm not going to be very helpful with. I do apologize. And Mary's saying her PC hasn't been updated for 5 years. You got to remember, PCs are like dogs. They age 7 years for every year. It's sad and it hurts. Just when you think you've got everything, upgraded, you're upgrading again. And I can say the same thing. I spent all my money getting to where I was, and then I added more memory because I needed more memory, and I had to change out a hard drive. So I get it.
Yeah, mine was built last year, and it's like I need a new hard drive already. I need a new hard drive because I'm running out of space. I probably could use some more RAM as well, so I feel it.
I have 4 hard drives. I don't want to talk about it.
Oh my gosh.
When I built the PC, I bought a motherboard that had 3 M2 SSD hard drives. So I have a hard drive for the operating system. I have a hard drive for just video, just to render videos on. And then I have a games drive that has all the games on it. And then I have a physical hard drive that I store everything long term on. So that's crazy.
Yeah, I have a really good external, but I need a new what is it? Another M.2.
Yeah.
In here. So
I've got 3 M.2s. They're wonderful and nice and great and everything, but yeah. But that's the whole thing of when you build a computer versus buying one off the shelf, you can be picky. So I was very picky, and I knew what I wanted and knew what I needed. And I've been building computers way longer than I'd like to talk about. Back when Pentium 2 cartridge CPUs were out. So.
Yep. And Castle saying, got a PS5, so I'm gonna just be waiting on the date, so I have the space needed for the update.
Yeah, there you go. You can probably see it.
Yeah. Yep.
And Mary's saying her son's coming out in October and he'll update. So yeah, there you go.
Yep.
If he's good at that stuff, he'll know what to get you. It's not real hard if you're kind of into that.
Yeah, can you remind her what she might need, Kirk, so she can write it down?
Sure. Absolutely. So according to the spec sheet here, I'll just copy and paste it and put it in the thing.
Okay.
So
I'll put it in the pinned comments as well by itself. So if anyone needs it, it'll be there. And Pickle Lil is saying you're very welcome. It was fun watching. So sounds like you did it justice, Kirk.
Well, she's also getting the blame for jinxing me with the start location. I started in Black Rock.
Oh no! Oh no!
She commented that she got at Black Rock on her test run, and so she re-rolled. Well, when I was recording, I refused to re-roll.
Oh no!
So I got stuck with Black Rock. I got way lucky though. I did not have one Timberwolf pack, so I managed to go around and figure it out. But yeah, it was a good one. It's a long video. but it was fun. It was a ton of fun. I'm looking forward to
Castle.
doing more.
Castle, you're
Looking.
still. Yeah, poor kid. Sorry, don't mean to interrupt. I'm just crying. Poor
I
Castle.
had to
I'm
leave.
feeling.
I had to leave in 3 days, Castle. I couldn't stay. That's the rules. So I had to get out, or it would have been a fail. I would have had to start over.
That's true.
Yeah, yeah. I won't. Piccolo saying next time don't pack your curling tongs. Yeah, I should have left the curling iron at home. That wasn't a wise choice of my 5 items.
Yep. Yep. And Mary's saying thank you for the info. And Mary, if you do need help, feel free to message on Discord as well. I'm pretty sure you're on there. Are you on there? I thought you were.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
have Discord locked out. You can send messages and stuff. And if not, you can always do a friend request and just let me know.
Yeah,
I don't mind helping everybody.
Yeah, and we do have the email for the Survivor's Corner as well too. I can probably post that somewhere.
And that goes to both of us. So if I miss it, Jitwire can remind me on that.
Yeah.
Toasty Bits is saying that he's had 2 mulligan runs for his Interloper series because of his dumb daily modifiers. Died on day 1.
Oh no.
I'm gonna have to go watch that. I'm so far behind. I was so busy recording. I recorded that 4-hour session. I also did another one too. I recorded a new game that came out into demo called the Goldfield Project, and it's kind of a neat game. I need to do another one because I really kind of just screwed around with it. But in the demo, you're the winner of a camping trip to this really exclusive area, and they fly you in, and then as the plane is leaving, the engine sputters and crashes. And you're like, okay.
No.
And then you go to this campsite where everything is provided for you at this campsite, and you go to the campsite and the campsite's just destroyed. Nothing is available. Yeah. So it's a really cute game so far. It's kind of glitchy a little bit. It needs some polish, but it's in alpha and that. But I need to give that another shot. But yeah, I recorded a lot of stuff over the 4 days that we were off, so I haven't gotten a chance to watch anything, but I did a lot of recording. But yeah, the Goldfield one is kind of interesting. It's cute, but I need to go take it more seriously. I was just kind of goofing around.
I'll have to check that out too. Let me know when you post it.
Where's the road to PV for? What's this? Cheesy Cries. I got a Bear Bend and Power Station. Okay. Yeah, if you're at the substation, you're actually really close to the PV thing. You got to go down to the river. So it's past the Bear's Den, but not to the bridge. It's kind of in between, and then there's like a little rock break, and you go down into the river. But be mindful, there can be wolves down there. Stuart P. Checking for the prepper's cache in the regions can be a pain. Had a cougar in my way for that one. Yeah. We've talked about the cougar so much, and anymore, like with the Take 5 video thing that I just started, I turned it off. It's just, I don't need that in my way when I've only got 3 days, and I don't know how long it's going to take me to put together any kind of weapons. Because you can only take, like if I find a hammer, I got to carry it, maybe 3 regions for 6 days to like get to where I need to go. Yeah. So it's crazy. Faye saying, Kirk, apparently there's a book at the camp which you read, and then you can pick a lot of stuff and use it. So, okay, so is that on the Goldfield one? Yeah, if that's one you're talking about. Yeah, I kind of got off in the weeds. I jumped in the water and I swam down the lake and got kind of off. I was more having fun with it than anything. But I need to go back and kind of like try to play it. But yeah, it was neat. It looks really good. It kind of, the thing I think you would like about it, Jitwire, is it kind of goes into what you were talking about. It's kind of mountainous, but the forest is really thick in it. So
yeah, what's it called?
It's called the Goldfield Project. It just came out on demo. Actually, I caught it on YouTube from a guy called Fooster, I think it was. He was doing it, and I watched like 5 minutes. So I stopped it. I was like, okay, no spoilers. I'm gonna go get this. It looked really
Oh, there we
good.
go.
Yeah, gotten a lot of hits on mine. I can't believe that popular for me being a crazy lunatic on there.
Oh yeah, that looks interesting.
I'll be the one. But I ask what the chat's biggest changes. My pick is the safe house customization and scurvy. Oh, as far as like the, like the DLC changes, is that what you're asking? I'll be the one. I would have to say it's a toss-up between cooking and safe house. Although I'm not the safe house person that does like I'm making, home. I like
Mm-hmm.
the setting up the places for practicality. In fact, I was reading somewhere, I forget who put it, and I do apologize, but somebody had made a comment about how they had taken the dam right where you walk in, where you got that desk and those lockers, and they had reworked that to where they had a bed in there, and they had the workbench all right there in that front room, and I was like, that's brilliant.
Yeah.
And they moved the fire barrel up there and everything. So yeah, I need to get more into the safe house deal just from a practicality standpoint. I kind of started
Yeah.
that on my stalker run. I kind of turned the farmhouse more into a working deal where I don't have to go upstairs, but I need to do that some more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I personally really like cooking. And then next would probably be safe house customization. It's just a game changer to be able to move like workbenches and things now. Because some of them are like way out there. Like, when are you ever going to use that? Like the one in the Ash Canyon mine. Like, it's just, that's a hike. Would be nice to have that somewhere else where you might use it a bit more.
It's nice that you can reallocate them, I guess would be a good way to do it. You do have to have the workbench vise or whatever. You have to tear it apart. But there's so many that are not in the best places and stuff, and that you
Mm-hmm.
can rework areas to work better
Like,
for you.
yeah, and isn't there two in Quonset? I'm pretty sure there's two.
There are
Yeah.
two in Quonset, one on
Yeah.
other side of each other. So, like with some of my runs, I would want to put a workbench at Misanthropes to work better with the trader.
Mm-hmm.
So that would be a great one to tear, or even the one that's outside. Um, you could use that one too, depending on if you got to worry about cabin fever or not.
Oh, I'm so paranoid to use that one. I always feel like the bear is going to sneak up on me.
See,
Like I'm going to be crafting.
this is where I think you should be able to build a fire barrel, because there's so many
Yeah.
empty barrels in there. You should be able to build a fire barrel. You got a hacksaw. You should be able to build a fire barrel.
Yeah. Yeah. And
Oh, I'll be
Toasty's
the one.
saying,
I was the one that redid the damn. I know I read that somewhere. I'll be the one, and I'm sorry I didn't remember who it was, but I really thought it was a cool idea to do the dam like that. I just haven't done enough on my stalker run to get to that point. I've got one safe house going, and I need to do some more, but we're in the midst of the tales right now. We're at Sundered Pass,
yep.
and that's a little bit of a spoiler, but not a big one.
Old Man Spiker, any thoughts on how to kill a cougar in Grimloper? No. No, I haven't tried that yet. I
Lure it.
am. You can't, because I have the lures turned off. You
Well,
can't
okay.
lure
Darn.
on Grimloper.
I was going to say
So-
lure him to the edge of the cliff and then jump off and hope he follows.
Yeah, well, no, he's passive, and he detects you from so far away. Old Man Spiker, I would probably say build a snow shelter. Like, go to the dead middle of his territory. build a snow shelter, maybe you can pop out, or
Ambush, huh?
no, no, or maybe a campfire, because it's almost like, I don't know if the campfire would work, but it's almost like it almost treats you like you're invisible when you're by a campfire. I don't know. I'd have to test it.
I have not played Clear Roper, nor have I watched Jetwire Steel. I'm hoping to do that, but I want to wait, let her get her run going a little bit further. But
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
definitely want to
but
try it.
yeah, herd it into a cave or something. That would be, yeah, into a corner. I don't know what else to do.
Stuart's saying he fixed the hole in the cabin at Timberwolf Mountain. I haven't
Nice.
done that one yet.
I haven't either.
I had already spent all my time on my stalker run in that area. I'd already done Ash Canyon and Timberwolf Mountain. I haven't gone back
Hmm.
with the safe house. That's how old that run is, unfortunately. Which is probably why I was enjoying Pickle Lil's challenge, because it was something new. Because I was
Hmm.
looking, I mean, I'm looking at my playlist and I'm like, Dead World is episode 82 and Stalker is episode 62. And I'm like, good Lord, I've got 2 runs that are over a year old. I was like, no wonder why I was so excited about playing this. It was something new.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, and I also have the same question as Faye. Stuart, does it make the hut warmer when you fix the roof?
Oh, that is a good question.
Yeah.
Inquiring minds want to know.
Yes. It would be cool if it did.
And Toasty saying when he finishes something wicked, he can die happy. That's that's something wicked. That's the one you're doing all the achievements on, right? Toasty saying he believes it warms up. We need to, yeah, we got to science that one. We need to find out.
Yeah, and Stuart P also said yes, but I'm not sure if it was yes to that or something else.
Yeah, I'll be the one. I did fix the roof in Mountaineer's hut. It warmed it up 3 degrees, which okay,
Nice.
that would make sense. That's the difference between sleeping through the night without a fire. That might come in
That's great.
real handy for the Travel 5.
Yeah. Yeah. But we are pretty much at time as well, everyone. So I guess
Wow,
we should probably, yeah, it just kind of flew by, didn't it?
time flies, huh? We
It
got in the
does.
weeds. We got off into the weeds, and we had a good time. We love it.
Yeah. Love it.
So, as far as schedules go, next Saturday at the same time, we will have Long Dark Forever on,
Hmm.
and y'all can jump in and say hi to Dave. He's been a long time streamer on Twitch. He's starting to do some tutorial stuff on YouTube and all that. So, if you're curious, he's been doing some map walkthroughs and that. You can go over to his YouTube channel and check that out. But
Hmm.
we'll do that all next week. But that's what's coming up next week. The week after that, we've got a special coming up on the 14th. We'll let the cat out of the bag on the 14th of what that is, but you won't want to miss because it'll be
Hmm.
fun. It's been one of the most requested things you've all wanted us to do, and we're going to finally acquiesce and do it. So,
Yep.
and with that, I'm going to let Jitwire end the show. Thank you, everyone.
Yes. Thank you all so very much for joining us, whether it was live or you were watching the recording. We really appreciate it, and we hope to see you next week. Bye bye.